Oh.
Hey, bom dia.
Oh, bom dia, bom dia.
We asked Tomas to see if he could find us some vegetables and fruits before we leave here today. Leaving in the afternoon. Right now it's the 28th of October in the morning.
How are you today?
Good.
Fine.
What is this?
Eggs.
Eggs.
But I have another one here on the bag.
Okay.
So on our listing,
Okay.
I didn't...
No potatoes.
No potatoes, no garlic, pineapple, and the squash.
Okay, no worries.
No worries.
But I have onion,
Okay.
I have tomatoes,
Okay.
I have the bananas,
Alright.
mango,
Alright.
papaya,
Okay.
eggs, and orange.
Orange.
Oh, orange. Nice.
Very
Okay.
good.
So
All right.
That is the business I have.
So how much do we owe you?
You want to take all?
Probably.
Probably, sure.
Yes. We'll take all.
Okay, but let the
You want
first.
to open it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to open first.
I don't want to rip this bag. Can you open that? What's
Yeah.
on these?
Papayas.
We got, then we have bananas.
Oranges and
Oh,
bananas.
lovely.
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 Just take it all?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take it all.
Yeah, for sure.
Take all.
Sure, if that's good for you.
The mangoes also, did you see mangoes?
Yes, mangoes, perfect. Love mangoes. Okay.
Oh,
Yes. Have a good day. Thanks, guys.
thank you
Thank
for
you.
buying my stuff. No problem.
Thank you for getting it for us.
Thank you very much.
Who do you want to call?
October 28th, we're on the road again, leaving from behind Bazaruto. On the way to a place that I can't pronounce. I'm not even going to try. But it's about 330 miles or so. I was looking to see if the chart plotter would tell me, but it doesn't. Anyway, that'll be our next hidey hole. Yeah, we're passing by Tomas's village. Yeah, if we're going out of the pass here, also using CPN. Shows us our way. Although with the laptop and the bright sunshine, as you can imagine, it's not easy. You can see the water discoloration there. That was the bank we went over. The water depth there was 2.1 meters. And that this time is true meters, I believe. If it had gone down to 2, I would have been happy to see if my depth sounder alarm would have gone off, because that's where I think I have it set at. And now it's a little deeper, about 3.2 meters. You can still see the bottom going by underneath us. But that was a tricky spot. Now we're heading out to the ocean, out that away, and then we will be off to the south. Well, talk about nerve-wracking. I didn't like the look of the water ahead of us on the course that we were supposed to be following, on the route that we were following. So I started edging off more to the right, which looked like it was deeper water, but that was a mistake because we ended up in some area that was really quite shallow, and eventually got to a point where I only had to go back like another 100 feet or so, but it looked so horrible. We did a 180 and came back the way we had gone, and then tried to work our way back to the left again, back to the north where we had been. And actually going across that bit, we were threading our way around dark patches that looked like coral bommies, but I don't think they were actually. They were something else that's soft, because we did touch down on them about 4 times gently as we were moving along on a very low RPM, just basically creeping ahead. And so no damage done, but eventually we got back to what was the original course, and it looked like, although at times we had 7/10 of a meter under the keel, which is pretty scary, and at one time we had 5/10, a half a meter under the keel. We were able to continue without striking again if we just kept to that one course, that one route. So it turned out to be a good route, but holy cow, nasty. Now we're almost out. We're in an area of churning, boiling water here as the current comes in. But this is the way to do it on the rising tide, so you don't get the overfall waves that would happen on an ebb tide. These are the shallows off on the left. And there's land and shallows on the right as well. And the washing machine.
Yeah.
Matt's caught something again.
Okay, I'm gonna pull him up on deck.
Okay.
Another wahoo.
And he's tangled in the other one again?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a big one.
Just a little bigger.
A little bigger. Yeah, that's 3 foot.
Okay.
Now what do we do?
Oh shit, he's off. We're okay.
Here, I'll pull him back in if I can.
I gotta pull the other line in too.
Yeah.
Actually just got tangled up in it is all. He's not hooked in it or anything.
Well, I don't think you'll find anybody who will tell you that that was a good night last night. So we continued on out, and then once we're out into the throat of the exit and just about gone, it started getting pretty shallow again, from 20 meters down to like perhaps 5 meters, maybe a little bit less, and this is almost at high water. So I have no idea what a person would do coming out of there at low water. So anyway, we did finally get out of there okay. And then we found that the wind was too much on the nose for us to sail, so we've been motoring all night long, and the strong wind and the Agulhas current meant that it was a terrible night of hobby horsing, and speed's really slow, like 2 knots, that sort of thing. So we've been going until this morning now. It's almost 7 o'clock in the morning on the 29th, and the wind is finally back enough that we've been able to turn off the engine and actually sail along the roads. And we have another blow coming. It's going to get into this area around the 1st or 2nd of November. So we have enough days to get to our anchorage, although we've changed anchorages from the one that I'll have to put on here with the text, because I don't know how to pronounce it. It's difficult to remember how to even spell it. That one apparently has a naval guy who lives overlooking that anchorage, and he likes to come and hassle the cruisers that anchor there. Why haven't they checked in, and give them fines? So we're going to stay anchored at another location just a little farther to the east, underneath the lighthouse, which on the chart looks terrible, looks really exposed, but apparently is what everybody uses, and it's not too bad. So that's where we're headed off to, and we should be getting there a day before, maybe even 2 days before that big blow comes. It's October 30 and we're on the way to Cabo Inhaca, where we are going to hide from another southern buster that's going to come through. These are 25 knot wind waves from the northeast. Finally, the kind of wind that we've been supposedly supposed to have the entire time. Finally, we're seeing some of it. 25 knots is pretty strong. I put in a washboard, and we've closed our port lights leading into the cockpit, because I think we could very well get boarded by a wave here. As you can see, the boat's also having a bit of trouble now with the autopilot keeping us straight downwind, but there's no reason yet to take over from it. We're doing all right. Tomorrow morning around sunup, or a little after that, we'll get to the Cape, and fortunately by that time the wind should be out of the south. That anchorage is unusable in anything but southerly winds and dangerous. But we should be okay now. The earlier forecast said we would still have a bit of residual northeast wind, but that's been changed now, and now it's going to be all southerly. And up to 30 knots perhaps, but that will happen in a couple of days, or 2 or 3 days. So we'll be at Cabo Inhaca for probably a couple of days anyway. And the good news is that the story is that after that, we're going to be able to depart immediately, probably on Tuesday or Monday I think, and head directly to Durban. We're going to bypass Richards Bay, which apparently is very, very busy with boats. All those 22 or 25 boats, whatever the final figure turned out to be, at Bazaruto that left just before we arrived, they've all gone to Richards Bay, so Richards Bay is full of boats. And we'll go on to Durban, where hopefully we'll find a berth there. Our access point device for the Iridium sat phone has been, again, acting up, and up until this point I've been able to find ways of making it work, but it's starting to get more temperamental now. It took 4 attempts to download our mail this morning. So I've been using the SMS capability of the satellite phone directly to send short emails and text messages out. So we're not totally without communication. Really a beautiful day though, I must say. Just gorgeous. Bright sunshine and the wind on the water making it sparkle. Looks really nice. And much more comfortable to be going 25 knots downwind than having a 25 knot wind and going upwind. At around 2:30 in the afternoon, it got even wilder here, and I think these winds are up around 30 knots. The boat went to standby from track, and I thought it was just rounding up into the wind because of the strong wind, but no, it had gone to standby and was laying sideways to the waves, rolling stuff around inside pretty well. So I managed to get it turned back downwind, and at the same time I'm trying to grab my pillow because the pillow's trying to fly away. Anyway, we're all good now. Still on track. This wind it's gonna stay like this for the rest of the day, but then by the evening and overnight it's gonna drop away. Pretty well nothing, because it's gonna be confronted with that southerly blow that's coming up against it. And then the wind will start from the south. By the time we get anchored, it'll probably be about 15 knots from the south, but it will continue to build until in a day or so it'll be 30 knots from the south. And then after that, pick up the anchor, and we should have a pretty stiff breeze, like something like this behind us, pushing us all the way to Durban. On this wild, crazy day, look at all these fishing boats. What are they all doing out here? There's one just about a mile off right there. Australian fishing boats out here then are showing up on AIS, and I can see 11 of them on AIS. There's some that are not squawking. So I turned on the radar and I can see them on radar. The binoculars went flying off the bench seat here and hit me in the little toe on the ground. It really hurts. You know, your feet are cold. Well, it was interesting on the way here to Cabo Inhaca Island. We had a problem where the bolt came out, the bolt disconnected, the nut came off the bolt from the electric ram, the linear drive of the autopilot to the steering quadrant. So until we could get that fixed, we had no autopilot, so I had to hand steer for the last 20-something miles to get here, and it wasn't very pleasant, but managed to get here. Lots of spray flying, heavy wind started up out of the south before we could get here. But this is our anchorage, now we're here, and this should be comfortable. The wind was from about 25 out of the south, and we were fairly comfortable here. It's not bad. We worried that it was going to be a terrible place, but it's working out okay. And forecast still stays about the same. We'll be able to leave probably on Monday, possibly on Tuesday, waiting for the wind to turn around into the northeast, because we don't want to have to motor too much. And we were able to fix the autopilot problem. It was as I expected. The nut just came off the bolt. That last happened in probably, I think it was 2014 or something. So it's been hanging on for quite a while. It just has difficulty staying on there because of the constant force against it. But anyway, we've got the autopilot back working, and that's a great thing. And we've been fairly comfortable here so far. We've been here a day already. And you can see who's up there. Another couple of sailboats. We don't know who they are. Too far away. They're about a mile away. Just sheltered a little farther to the west. They also, I think, are taking some pains to stay out of sight of that naval officer who likes to give people all kinds of $100 tickets for everything from not checking into the country to not having up the yellow Q flag, or to having a Mozambique flag, which is not as large as your national flag at the back of the boat. Each one $100. We try to stay out of sight. This is just beginning to start up now. Monday night. Thursday night. Oh boy. I know where I am.